called Comrades. The old Chinese man, his smile ripe. He's eating a large Fuji apple. Or maybe it's the morning sunlight that swells his cheeks. Most days, I passed him sitting on a bench in a vacant playground, staring at idle swings. After I say, "Good morning," never before, he raises his left arm, gives me a salute. His happy teeth part, but no sound comes from his throat. Perhaps crossing borders, he's learned both charm and caution. He keeps full eye contact, indicating he has more to say, as I have more I'd like to say. But I've learned nothing about how to welcome someone who knows no English. When I return later, he's surrounded by cronies from the old country, women and men watching children. His hand flies up to greet me, palm open, as if to say, "Stop here, my friend." Lacking for words, I've become the outsider. Mute as he. I raise my hand and continue on alone.
And if every 7-year-old is homeless, there will be a child's tale or honey of boys. This morning, a neighbor got me drunk on gin. He says he's building a man inside me. My mother is mad that my father won't beat me. She won't eat a man either. It's the wet season of '99, and our men are with ECOMOG, fighting in Liberia and Sierra Leone. I'm happy my father is alive. There's an eviction notice in his pocket. I'm at the landlord's door because my mother says someone needs to talk to him man to man. I make my hands into guns and fire at his door. I hang out with other boys. We play in the empty roads. We make impressions of the head of state. We pretend to shoot guns. They say we are the voice of the street, but I want to say I'm hungry and mean it. Maybe we are quiet in the dark because we hear our bowls filling with rainwater dripping from the roof gutters. Or we are quiet because we think silence precedes miracles. If Jesus lives here, it's enough if he makes our bowls into lakes. My father is a fisherman. Watching him slap fish dead with his baton, I know he is no different from the men at war, insomniac, haunted by the open hides of dead fishes. Though I was a firm believer in the fire within, I refused to believe it could touch a house. The evidence, I mean the charred body, spotted like leopard skin, didn't do much to convince me. I knew the wrath of fire from the government's Calcutta show. Government-issued firebenders working magic of light at Calcutta Republic. A nation within a nation in which the evidence, I mean my mother, became the medium of two worlds. I carried my mother, a hand poised as if it was rested on a doorknob. What passage was she holding the door to? I couldn't seal the evidence. I couldn't nail my mother's coffin because a hand was in the way of the lead, as though she would continue to hold on to life. What coroner puts their print on the evidence? I carried the coffin. I carried my mother.
I wrote, I was like this. Erica says, melodies, prayers, babies. A woman who isn't asked says nothing. A woman who isn't a mother fields questions. A woman who isn't a mother owns a field. My mother holds my knee. My mother's left hand is a wooden shield. My mother tells her cousin when she's ready. A woman who waits. Erica says we give birth to different things. A woman who knows the difference says poems. A mother slices a pepper like a heart. A mother says like this. My mother holds a braid, holds the milk, holds a chrysalis. One mother says, "You dodged a bullet." A woman who waits for a sound in her heart. A doctor says, "What saves you?" What saves my life will burst a baby's heart. A doctor says, "Choose." My mother's hand in the car hits my heart. A mother's grief arrives already swaddled. A mother with ashes for children says, "Ishtamim." The woman who birthed my mother says, "Maybe." A woman who's no longer asked says, "Nothing?" Erica says, "Birth things." A woman who makes a choice works a field. My mother taught my hands to crimp the pastry. I taught my mother's hands to lattice pastry. The woman who birthed my mother says prayers. My mother holds a needle, holds a feather, holds a door. When a doctor says choose, a death is meted. A poem says the same each time you meet it. A woman who doesn't choose crosses a field.
Went viral. Something I've yet to do, though I aspire to it. It was for you alone I wrote the song. I sang into the screen and sent to you alone, that someone else then saw and sent among their friends among still others, still farther beyond me, omphalos node of a lopsided system. New lines of transmission bloomed askew from spreading hubs, forgotten though. Each watched me sing as if to him or her of you, your amor fati face across an asymptotic gap, in time awaiting our arriving late, by planes delayed. Your glance's axis glancing off of mine, across the gate, above computers closed, exhausted from all we'd watched thereon. Crashes, water drops, and bullets shot at 10,000 frames per second. Feats of song in blurred exurban bedrooms, overloaded glance that turned to gaze, to blazons sung into my screen and seen through countless eyes alike aglaze, blazing frames of video memes, through minds aswarm with same. Like ours that sudden once, our addled pleasure centers blazing gray and out, numb to wonder among ever-doubling wonders.